Sawadee-krab. Hello all friends who are watching this video. I'm Vasu Posianan. I'm architect working in architecture conservation in the Fine Art Department, Ministry of Culture, Thailand. I have also worked with Ecomos Perico, which I am Secretary General. Now, for today's presentation, I would like to present examples of conservation of religious places in Thailand, which I have chosen based on the material used, that is, brick, wood, and stone. All three examples are those which I have taken part in conservation design. Example of brick architecture is the Wat Thepthidaram Scriptures Hall Conservation Project, Bangkok. The wood architecture is the Wat Thepthidaram Scriptures Hall Conservation, also in Bangkok. Both projects are Buddhist living heritage which are still in use. The last example is the Stokoktom Conservation Project, which is the stone monument, a Khmer temple complex managed as a historical park now. I would like to present the conservation of the main tower of this heritage place. Let's begin with the first project. Example of brick architecture conservation. Wat Thepthidaram Scriptures Hall Conservation Project. Wat Thepthidaram is a temple situated in Bangkok, built in the reign of the King Rama III, completed in 1839. Architecture of this period is characterized by the king's favorite style, which is the integration of Chinese architectural style into traditional Thai style. Therefore, elements of this temple feature the style as mentioned. In the temple complex, the area is divided into two zones. The front zone is called Puttawat, comprising the Ubosot or ordination hall as the main building. To the left and the right of the Ubosot is the Vihan and Sala Kanpriyan respectively. Other structures are stupas. To the rear is Sankhawat zone or monks' residential area, comprising the monks' residences and other important buildings, which are the Hall Prathai or Scriptures Hall. In this temple, there are two Scriptures Halls situated to the north and to the south. The northern Scripture Halls has already been restored by the temple, whereas the southern Scriptures Hall was the one which we undertook the conservation project. It was in a really bad shape when we discovered it, with additional parts made and inappropriate use, like using as workers' accommodation and storage. The Scriptures Hall, in fact, is very important in terms of meaning, due to its function as the building for keeping Buddhist texts and the Tripitaka. Therefore, it represents Dhamma, one of the triple gems in Buddhism. Therefore, the intangible value of the Scriptures Hall should be highly considered, and we have based our conservation design on this value. The conservation project was initiated by the Association of Siamese Architects under royal patronage. Generally, the organization which is responsible for cultural heritage conservation in Thailand is the Fine Art Department. However, the number of cultural heritage sites which are in need of conservation is much greater than the capacity of the Fine Art Department. So, the Association of Siamese Architects, as representative of Thai architects, try to help by cooperating with the department in conservation of architectural heritage. Therefore, the project was conceived. The selection of the site was considered by architectural value, state of deterioration, urgency, and the willingness of the owner in cooperating with the conservation project. After we selected the Scriptures Hall, we set our concept, which is to bring back the original features of the building and to solve all problems of deterioration. Furthermore, we intended this project as a means of paying homage to the Buddha. As I mentioned earlier that the Scriptures Hall is the representation of Dhamma. We would like to revive the architectural features of the King Rama III favor style by preserving the original building craft as much as possible. As for the parts which we had to add in new elements, the new additions were made with traditional techniques and materials, which was means of learning and transferring the knowledge in traditional building arts and crafts. Working procedure started from collecting information, for example, or photographs and historical documents, in order to learn about the original construction and former restorations. We have found that there was a major restoration in the reign of the King Rama V, from which some elements could have been changed from the original. After studying, we have decided to base our conservation design on the style after the major restoration in the King Rama V's period. After research and study, we did a survey of the physical condition of the temple and the building. At that time, we worked with volunteers in the survey and recording the building, which we went into detail of the physical features, damage, and deterioration, additional parts which had to be removed, missing parts which we had to add in, as you see in the photographs, like the flanking of plaster, dampness, and accumulated moisture, etc. How could we solve these problems? We also did survey on structural features and condition, as well as archaeological excavation to learn about the foundation. The information we have recorded were used for analyzing the original design and the change after the major restoration. Then the conservation design was made, which was promoted for fundraising in the form of Papa, a means of merit making in which all people can contribute to the project. The fund raised from the Papa event was topped up by the Fine Art Department and subsidized the conservation project sufficiently. During the conservation process, we organized visits to the temple and the project site that participants can see the conservation project in different states of progress. As for the conservation, we have studied and recorded our material in detail, made shop drawings. Example is the case of the ceiling, which was painted over to cover the original design. We had the new paint removed to reveal the original design. Concerning the brick and plaster work, which was the heart of the project, we removed the cement and revived the use of lime plaster in the restoration using the traditional lime plaster formula. This was quite a revolution since the use of traditional lime plaster was almost forgotten and discouraged by general builder and restorer of today. So we took the opportunity to revive the techniques. We also conserved the door and windows, decorative elements, the floor, etc. When the work was completed, we had the old scriptures cabinets moved back to the hall as they were originally placed. The landscape was also taken care of by removing the new toilet from the area and building another toilet in an appropriate place. Finally, conservation document was made, which includes all information about the project. Our efforts, especially public participation and complete process of conservation, had made us receive the Award of Merit from the UNESCO Asia Pacific Heritage Award in 2011.